as Americans, we've been so focused on what's happening with ICE in our community or Israel with regards to our tax dollars, or even the Epstein files for that matter, that we have not been paying enough attention to what they're doing to our money right underneath our noses. And we keep trying to plead to MAGA and the right the need for them to jump ship so that we can save America. But we've been pleading to their morality and their humanity as if they are the Christians that they pretend to be, when in reality, we need to be pleading to their self-preservation and financial greed. And with that being said, I'm going to take quite a bit of your time today to discuss all of the things that are happening to Americans' financial security right underneath our nose. And this is cause for alarm, whether you're Republican or Democrat, whether you're liberal or conservative. It does not matter. Unless you are a billionaire, you are going to be affected drastically by all of this. First and foremost, they are deregulating retirement plans in the United States, which means things like pensions, Roth IRAs, and 401ks are no longer federally regulated or even protected for that matter. That means that any money you place in these financial institutions is free game for said financial institution. They can invest, divest, or move the money however they see fit, meaning that your retirement is not protected or even guaranteed at this point. This is super alarming because they're gutting all government assistance programs like SNAP benefits, temporary assistance for needy families, veterans assistance. And they've also very freely discussed defunding Social Security. So if you don't have a government supplemented Social Security or a federally protected retirement plan, this is leaving our elderly retirees to either work until the day they die or die in poverty. He also defunded the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, overturning several of its recently enacted rules, including but not limited to getting rid of the overdraft fee cap, meaning banks can make up an overdraft fee and hold you responsible. He dropped pending enforcement actions that would have returned billions of dollars to consumers for lawsuits with banks such as Chase, Wells Fargo, Capital One, Bank of America, on the account of their predatory overdraft fees. The banks were previously found liable for financially harming their customers and ordered to pay a settlement. Now that's currently on pause. And furthermore, this allows them to incur additional financial harm against their customers. There's also no longer a digital payment oversight board, which means apps like Zelle, Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal are no longer federally regulated or even monitored for that matter. Now, I was just warming you guys up with those. That was a soft launch, okay? This is probably cause for the biggest alarm right here. Medical debt removal no longer exists. So previously, they could not report medical debt to any of your credit reporting agencies, okay? And if it did end up on your credit report, you could have it removed. That no longer exists. Moreover, any incurred medical debts you have will now affect your credit, also allowing potential finance agencies to see sensitive medical data. And obviously, this is going to be a huge hit to majority of Americans, given that the cost of health insurance and health care is said to triple by the end of this calendar year. This is alarming, okay? The United States already pays more than any country in the world for the worst health care in the world. The tripled uncovered cost of health care can now be reported to your credit. You can now be held in a court of law responsible for paying for it, which means they can garnish your wages and take assets such as your car and home for payment. With Medicaid being gutted, there is no free government health care for anyone. With insurance premiums tripling, every American runs the risk of bankruptcy or homelessness should they incur any serious illness. This is insane. There's also no longer a cap on credit card late fees, on adjustable interest rates and surcharges. They are no longer regulating buy now, pay later loans or medical debt collection for that matter, which means that these will be weaponized against consumers. And to give you a few examples of what that means, you will be held financially responsible for uncapped interest rates, wage garnishments, credit reporting, attorney fees, any liens on personal property, meaning they can seize your property as repayment of the loan. That's crazy. Data brokers, such as credit reporting agencies, are also no longer required to adhere to strict accuracy, consent, and transparency requirements. So all those little chat GPT hacks you've been using to fix your credit, they're gone. They don't exist for you anymore. You have no protection against credit reporting, credit balances, or financial institutions. Now, this is where things get really messed up. He also eliminated the Disparate Impact Act, okay, which specifically reviews financial disparity targeted at women and minorities, okay? An instance of how this program used to work to the advantage of a lot of people in the United States is that somebody can't refuse you a home or a car loan, a business or a personal loan for being of a certain nationality, religion, sex, or ethnicity. This was created to ensure that African Americans could finance homes and weren't price gouged on the interest rates. They can now flat out refuse you financing for being a woman or a minority or charge you whatever they would like to. They've dismantled the Fair Housing Act as well, too. So this removes protections for minorities and women when financing, homes or renting property for that matter. So basically, long story short, it's fair game for the banks to do whatever they would like, whenever they would like, and they can report to your credit however they see fit. There are absolutely no more consumer financial protection agencies or stipulations in place. You have absolutely no legal recourse against it. I mean, I don't think you guys understand the magnitude of this. They can refuse loans to minorities and women again. They can stop renting to minorities and women again. They can overcharge you on interest and penalties and surcharges. They can report medical bills to your credit. They can garnish your wages at an interest rate up to 25% of your disposable income. They can manipulate variable interest rates on any balance and collect assets as payments for delinquent loans, medical debt, and outstanding balance. And for those of you who aren't familiar with what I mean when I say they can collect assets, that means that they can take your car. They could take your home. A liquidable asset is anything of value that you can sell for cash. I shouldn't have to stress this importance, but I'm going to. We are experiencing the worst inflation in the history of the United States of America, while jobs are decreasing at an alarming rate. We are losing jobs. We are losing export. We are tariffed on imports. Food shortages exist due to failing farms from deportations and tariffs. Link benefits are being canceled. Tons of food pantry food is being destroyed for no reason at all whatsoever. Social Security is being tampered with and potentially abolished. Our retirement plans that we privatize are no longer safe. There's a 300% increase on health insurance premiums coming. Your credit card balances, your home, your car, all of this is undoubtedly under attack intentionally by the government and now our banks. If you want to add injury to insult, this is happening while American farms collapse and Argentina gets a $40 billion bailout from our tax dollars so our president could secure their president's election. All of this is happening while our tax dollars are funding free food, housing, healthcare, and education in Israel. It's a dark time for Americans, but the agenda is very clear. Our schools are being defunded while our children are being shot in them. Our farms are collapsing while J.D. Vance and AI surveillance companies like Palantir and Oracle buy up the land for AI surveillance facilities. Our president is bailing out Argentinian farmers. Our military is being privatized by the Deputy Secretary of Defense, who owns one of the largest banks in Israel and receives majority of his income from privatized American military contracts, okay? They defunded the FDA, the CDC, and the EPA, removing all regulations on what they feed us, how it's grown, regulated, reported, and furthermore, allowing them to poison our land with non-renewable energy and consume our water supply with their new AI surveillance facilities designed to surveil Americans. Guys, they're kidnapping our black and our brown neighbors. They bought up all the major news outlets, CNN, Fox News, CBS, every single reporting news station in the United States is all under the same Zionist corporate umbrella. They bought up the corporation responsible for monitoring our digital votes. They're shutting down our government. They want to postpone any further elections. They are training our National Guard on crowd control so they can suppress dissent when it inevitably happens, aka they will be using the American military against American people exercising their constitutional right to peaceful assembly. They are attacking peaceful protesters on live television that they're broadcasting on the news stations that they've bought up. They rape children for fun, they suppress the Epstein files, and ultimately they are funneling all of your tax dollars into a Zionist cult attempt to wage a religious war against the world. Like, what more does it take for you guys to throw out this right versus left conversation and be like, holy shit, we're in deep fucking shit right now. It's fucking dark.